Hello everyone, and welcome to Canadian History Trackers. In this series, what we want to do is we want to give you a glimpse of Canada, its history, its past, its stories. So we don't pretend to give you accurate history lessons. We're going to give you stories about Canada. We're going to give you a little bit about how our government works and a little bit of its history. So that's what we're looking for. We hope to create an interest in this great country of ours. It's known that Canadian history is boring. I want to prove it to you that it's not boring. It's not only not boring, it's actually exciting. So join us in this series. We hope you subscribe. And if you have any comments, please, be nice to us and leave your comment. And we'll respond and we'll try to do the best we can for you. Thank you. Our government system in Canada is based on three parts. We have the sovereign, we have Parliament, and we have the judiciary. So right here behind me is Westminster Palace in London, where our system of government is based, our parliamentary system. We have two cameras or two chambers in our parliamentary system. We have the House of Commons, based on the House of Commons here in London, and the British also have the House of Lords, which is right here behind me. Now in Canada we don't have a House of Lords. We replaced that with the Senate. We will look more extensively at the differences between the House of Lords and the Senate, and also the role of the Queen at Buckingham Palace right here in London. So the Senate, the way it works is senators are appointed by the Governor General or the monarch on advice of the Prime Minister. So the Prime Minister looks at a cross-section of the population, usually business people, artists, people that will give Canada a second sober thought, just like in Britain, where the Lords would, give a second sober thought to the House. Now, today, both the Senate and the House of Lords kind of take a second role to the House of Commons. So we're going to take a look at how the House of Commons works now. Now, in Canada, of course, we don't have a House of Lords, but we do have a Westminster style, meaning we do have two chambers, a lower house, the House of Commons, and the upper house is the Senate. In a similar fashion, the lower house represents the people. So we divided the country into several sections based on population, so representation by population, and they're called ridings. And then each member of Parliament runs in a riding, and each riding equals one vote in Parliament. So an issue is debated. The parliamentarians then vote according to their position on it or party position on it, and then pass it on to the Senate, then debates furthermore, and then sends it back to Parliament for amendments if required. And then once the back and forth is done, it goes to our Governor General for royal consent. Here we are at Buckingham Palace. The Queen represents the power in Canada. So she is, the Canadian crown represents all the power. The Queen reigns, but she does not rule. The ruling part belongs now to Parliament, both here in Britain and in Canada. The Canadian version of royalty, the Canadian royal family, is the same. It's the same people, but it's a different crown. It looks the same. Is representative of the historical links between Britain and Canada. And we are here at Buckingham Palace, right here behind me. We can also see that the Queen is not at home today, as the Union flag is flying. Whenever the Queen is home, instead of the Union flag, the Royal Standard flies. Now, the British Royal Standard is slightly different than the Canadian Royal Standard. The British Royal Standard does not contain the three maple leaves at the bottom as it does in Canada. So it is a different Royal Standard, different title. The Queen is the same, but it's a different crown. And the crown represents all the power in Canada. However, it is mostly just a representation. The ruling, all the laws, everything is passed by the Parliament, represented by the House of Commons and the Senate. Okay, we hope you enjoyed this segment on Canadian Parliamentary System. We're now going to move on into talking about the political parties in Canada. Stay tuned.